Sometimes a reproduction can become so old and commissioned for such a momentous occasion that it actually becomes the history treasure.
This is a 19th century reproduction of the 15-star, 15-stripe flag of the United States of America. The original flag was enacted by the Flag Act of 1794 by President George Washington himself. You had the original 13 colonies that became the states, and they were starting to add on states, one of which was Vermont, and the other was Kentucky. And Kentucky was the 15th state that became a state in 1792. This 19th century reproduction was celebrating Kentucky Centennial, which was in 1892. It was also used in the United States Bicentennial Celebration. It underwent some conservation treatment and then was used for that celebration as well. We know the donor's name, which was Mary Snow Etheridge, and it came to us around the 1950s. The design of the flag is what Francis Scott Key would have seen during the attack of Fort McHenry. And Francis Scott Key was inspired to write the poem Star Spangled Banner, which later became the words to our national anthem. When the original design was enacted, this flag, it wasn't really that popular in Americans' minds like it is today, where we see it over on 4th of July, we see it on paper plates and just about everything. But back then, it wasn't really used that way. It was over forts, it was over battleships, it was recognized by the military, but it wasn't really popular in Americans' minds. There are two things that happened in the mid-1800s that changed that. One was the invention of the sewing machine, and that invention allowed the ability to mass produce textiles, including flags. When you had the attack on Fort Sumter by the Confederates that started the American Civil War, the flag that was over Fort Sumter was taken up north as a fundraising effort. And suddenly it became very popular in especially Northerners' mindset of as a symbol of the Union. And so from that mid-19th century on is when you get Americans using the flag as that symbol of patriotism and pride in our country. One of America 250's themes is the revolutionary experiment. You originally had 13 states. We started adding in more states. Not only do symbols change, as this flag represents, but America changes as well.
For more information, visit us online at history.ky.gov. From the Kentucky History Center and Museums in downtown Frankfort, I'm Doug High.